G'day and welcome everyone to this week's Rossoneri Roundup. It's me and Shady. How's it going, Shady?
Hey Luke, how you going? Hi everyone.
I'm very well. I've got to say I am absolutely pumped for the next few matches. We have what feels like the biggest few matches in the last decade.
It's going to be an interesting stretch of games, definitely.
Yeah, so we've got Lazio in a few days on the 13th at home. We've got Liverpool away at Anfield on the 16th, 3 days later. Then Juve away on the 20th. Then we've got Venezia, Spezia, and Atletico on the 29th. So that's a massive, 21 days.
Oh, 100%. It's all about those Venezia and Spezia games, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Lazio next. I actually think, to be honest, Lazio, when looking at that schedule, Lazio is actually kind of almost the one for me that springs out the most. I mean, Liverpool's there as well, and Juve and Atletico and the others. But I think Lazio are really good this season, and I'm actually a little bit concerned.
Yeah, I mean, it's early days, but they had two good games. The win against two good wins was the Empoli and Spezia, was it? The 6-1 was that Spezia? Yeah. So they've had two good wins. Good start. Again, too early to be reading into it too much, but it's definitely a tough game. I mean, I think I was reading as we were preparing for this that, our last 6 games with Lazio have been 3 wins apiece. And so it's nothing to be taken lightly. A tough game. We all remember how we went with them last season. I mean, they weren't easy games. They weren't easy games. So tough one, but potentially winnable.
Yeah, and they've actually got a pretty solid list when you look at it. Like Immobile, Felipe Anderson, Luis Alberto, Milinkovic Savic. You know, they signed Zaccagni. Like it's pretty formidable. Particularly the midfield is arguably maybe. Would you say it's better than ours?
Nah, I think we would still pick them, but obviously I'm going to be biased. I would say this though. I would say Lazio's biggest achievement was 2 things really: bringing in a coach that can potentially bring out the best of their players in Sarri and the kind of football he plays. Given that they've got all these attack-minded players, and second of all, basically retaining pretty much the core of their squad. I mean, to be able to hold on to Milinkovic Savic, to Luis Alberto, and to Immobile, basically to the core of their squad. I think that was their biggest achievement this summer. So they've got a good squad, no doubt about it. They're a really good team. Make no mistake about that. But I think again, if we play our game, we should be able to just about edge it.
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe you wouldn't say this, 6 months ago. But I'm actually really excited to see, well, first of all, I mean, our midfield to begin with, but if Tonelli played in that midfield, I don't know whether he would make that, but we've seen him put together a pretty strong few games. And he with the under 21s, whenever that was a few days ago, you feel like the ball's starting to move with him. It's taken a bit of time, but he's getting there.
Yeah, he had that. Let's think of last season as like a season of growing pains.
Yeah,
but he's coming through. This season he's really showing that potential, which I think a lot of people following Serie A saw to begin with when he was with Brescia. So it's good. It's good to see. You love to see it. He's had a good week. Colombo also had a good game. So it's all really positive in general. And hopefully, he can start to build on that. I mean, we've been hearing rumors of Pioli. Again, these are all rumors. You never know. But been hearing rumors about Pioli potentially playing with him in midfield. So kind of altering the formation a bit to have a 3-man midfield. We'll see how we go. But it's great.
Yeah, and also a lot of speculation about the formation. I think a lot of it might come from even What happens when Ibrahimovic comes back? Lots of talk about purely finding a way to kind of rejig the team for each one of those matches, even, you know, playing Ibra and Giroud and Rebic and Leao all in different positions, depending on the match. But yeah, as we've been saying, that Giroud, I mean, even though he's out with COVID at the moment, which I think he'll miss the Lazio match, right?
It's pretty much a certainty at this stage,
Yeah.
So it looks like Giroud and Ibra out of the Lazio match, potentially Giroud back for Liverpool, and I think both of them back for the Juve game.
Yeah. But
so
as I was about to say,
talk about potentially taking the two of them against Liverpool. Yeah.
No, he does still add that depth that was desperately needed. So exciting times. Very excited to see what happens, particularly in these next 3 matches. I'd really love that win against Liverpool.
Yeah,
that's a big one. Going 1-0 at Anfield for our first ever game would be pretty big. Predictions for the Lazio match?
All right. For the Lazio match, 3-2 win.
Yeah. I would have to agree. I think, as I said, Immobile is pretty huge for them in the league. So I think I'm going to agree with you probably for the first time ever, Shady. We'll say the same thing. Okay. And do we give Liverpool predictions, or will we wait for next one?
Why not? Why the hell not?
Why not?
Well, I'm not sure about how we'll go with logistics before the Liverpool game. So let's just to be on the safe side, just in case we don't talk before the Liverpool game. Let's go for predictions. Look, the optimist in me wants to say 2-1 win. I think the more realistic result is a 1-1 draw.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna say I can't agree with you for a second time, can I?
No, probably not. Unheard of.
I'll say a 1-0 draw. Oh, sorry, 1-0 win for us.
1-0 draw. Yeah, now that'll be a first.
Exactly. Setting records. 1-0 draw. I said it again. Win. A win.
Mate, you've got it. We'll lock it in for a 1-0 draw. You don't need to say it again. I did the first time.
Like 1.5 points. Okay.
Yeah.
Other news. The new stadium.
Yeah, the same song and dance from what I understand from what you were telling me earlier.
Yeah, it's
nothing that we haven't heard before.
No. It's ridiculous how every, it feels like every 6 months we get new news on the stadium and how it's about to be confirmed. But I don't think any changes. I mean, Scaroni came out yesterday and said the city council was ready and that the club had assurances from Milan mayor, but I can't see it, to be honest.
We've heard, and look, I mean, until they actually, start the actual construction, then I'll start to believe it. But until then, it's just empty promises. We've been hearing this on repeat for like 7 years now, maybe since like Barbara Berlusconi's vision. Remember and we even saw like a mock-up of what the stadium would look like. So I mean, seeing is believing. Until we actually see the foundation being laid and the construction starts, I'm not gonna read too much into it, to be honest.
Yeah, I always feel like it's like a year 10 high school student that's doing these things. That he's like they're putting together these photos and they're saying, oh yeah, like it's gonna happen, it's gonna be the best thing ever, but like there's nothing behind it. There's no substance. Yeah. Staying on kind of bigger or club management, the ticket suspension.
Yeah, that's good. Good to see that the management's responsive. It doesn't make sense. I mean, look, you can't just look at these things from like a dollars and cents perspective. What management originally, I guess, wanted was the maximum revenue possible, being the Champions League game and whatnot, just to try and milk it. But you have to bear in mind that A, we've got limits on capacity, I think because of Corona, and B, these are fans who have been unwavering in their support of the club and wanting to see us back in the Champions League. You need to be a bit fair about it, and it's good to see, it's encouraging to see that they've responded to the fans. Obviously, Curva Sud, they issued a strong statement, and it's good to see that, it looks like management's going to respond to that and drop those prices a bit. It's good. You want to see that. It can't all be about business.
Yeah. And I think certainly coming from a club, a supporter club side, we have been seeing a change in the way that Milan's been doing things over the last few years, that they are starting to take a bit more feedback and do things like this. Obviously, speaking from a Milan Club Melbourne point of view, we saw the shirt that came out that incorporates Melbourne into the design, which, to be honest, would have been
very vaguely,
much,
but I mean,
but it's there. I mean,
they tell us it's there, so we'll believe them. But I mean, but it's good. Look, I mean, let's not fool ourselves. The fact that Melbourne's getting recognition, that's good. Like you're saying, it's good. It shows that the management's listening to the fans, and that's what you want to see.
Yeah, it never would have happened, even 2-3 years ago.
10 years ago, no. Yeah.
Big changes. Sure. The only other thing, the Kessie news, I don't even know what to say. It feels like the media's playing with us, to be honest, because they know that we're sensitive about contract renewals.
Yeah. Look, I mean, there's been so much of an overkill in the analysis. I mean, from people reading into the fact that he's added AC Milan player into his Instagram bio, to others already saying that Tottenham are working out an exchange deal, to others just saying that PSG have already offered them like 10 million euros. Yeah, I don't know. Look, at this stage, I'm after like last season and the way the Donnarumma and Çalhanoğlu sagas played out. Honestly, I'm just of the view that I hope the management handles this the same way they handled the Donnarumma issue at the end, which is they just brought in Mania and they were like, Donnarumma, you can go do one. I hope they do that if Kessie is still playing hardball. From a personal perspective, look, from a professional perspective, I get how there's a bit of a song and a dance with the agent and the management. There's a bit of to and fro. I respect and understand that. From a personal perspective, I'm sick and tired of players like I don't want to be a broken record here, but I'm going to say, and everybody listening knows what I'm going to say. Sick and tired of players saying, "Oh, I want to play for life." The way he was, all those things he said when he was in Tokyo about how he wants to play for Milan forever and wants to be called Il Presidente forever and blah 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 blah, and then this happens. So I don't know. I mean, meh.
Imagine choosing Tottenham over Milan. Can I just say?
Yeah, exactly. It would be very short-sighted as well. I mean, especially with us back at the top, and potentially with this young squad with the potential to stay on the top of the game and hopefully start to win titles and hopefully European Cup, so Champions League titles as well. It's all up for play. I mean, and you can see that this team is definitely, after years of being led astray, I guess, we're on the right path. So anyone, worth their salt can say that. So it'd be very stupid to do that. Let's hope that he doesn't repeat the Donnarumma mistakes.
Yeah. And I think until he does make a move, the media is going to keep playing with us, and people are going to keep speculating. So we'll wait and see.
Full clickbait and views and traffic and all that stuff. Yeah. Of course, of course they're going to do that.
Anyway, that's about it. Thank you all for listening or watching, wherever you watch or listen. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, do all those good things. It really helps us. But otherwise, see you next week, and Forza Milan, Shady.
Look forward to it, mate. Forza Milan.